construct, time still exists universally. From a higher perspective, from an energetic perspective, time still exists, but it's much more fluid. Time, rather than a linear line, is a circle. It is ever unfolding. And we have to remember that we are multidimensional. As soul, we are multidimensional. As spirit, we are multidimensional. And that's what we're beginning to really understand and embrace. And he's saying, grasp on this ascension journey is that we are multidimensional and that we are not beholden to the burden of time. And this is where that light language transmission, I feel, is going to come in. We're not beholden to the burden of time, that linear time stream that we often feel stuck in. um, I'm just getting called to this analogy. If you have appointments and you have this and you have that, it's this. I'm going to be late, or I'm going to be early, or I'm going to be this, or I'm going to be that. We attach ourselves to time, allow ourselves to open up to the understanding that time is very fluid. And if you've ever been somewhere where you don't want to be, or experiencing something that you don't want to experience, you'll feel time slow down, or you'll feel time speed up. I'm getting drawn to when I first met my sacred partner. It felt like we were in a sacred bubble, and I would look at the clock, and it was like so much time had passed, but it felt like no time had passed at all. Like hours had passed, but it felt like no time had passed at all. It's that kind of it's that kind of energy. It's that kind of construct. It's that we ourselves are connecting to the energy of time, and we ourselves can speed up or slow down time, and we ourselves can even travel back in time and experience time in many different ways. Time is very fluid. It is not fixed to our human condition. um that is the illusion of time that we get so often caught up in, right? Time itself being that portal. So often we have these wounds around time, because that is the human condition too, because we have these preconceived notions, we have these beliefs, we have these blocks, we have these ideas as a collective consciousness, as a society. And that's too what we are releasing with regards to our ascension journey. We're understanding the true nature of ourselves. We're understanding that we are fluid, that we are energy, and that everything is energy and everything is interconnected, that it's not one thing or the other. So we have these wounds around time as well. Again, maybe there's not enough time, maybe there's lost time, maybe there's too much time, and a fear of too much time, fear of eternity stretching out before us. But again, these are all illusions, these are all fears, these are all blocks, these are all beliefs that we have. In truth, time is ever unfolding all around us, and they just keep showing it to me as a circle, because time is always happening at various different degrees to right here, right now, in the present moment. The present moment really is all there is. Now, there are time streams that stem from that present moment, and time streams that go off into the future, but the present moment, I always say, is our point of power, because this is where we create. Every future moment comes from the present moment before it. And every past energy is a potential future timeline to bring us into the present. I'm going to show it to you like this. We've talked about it. If you've been on my channel for a while, you know I often use the pyramid, because it's like these lines of the pyramid leading up to the central point are these maybe past timelines, and they all converge on the present moment. So wherever you were, maybe this is past lifetimes, or maybe this is just, past energies within this incarnation, who you were, the experiences that you had, maybe mistakes that were made, decisions that you made, choices that you made, all converge on the present moment, on this now moment. Now, from this present moment, you have multiple timelines and time streams that kind of you get to choose from, that you get to manifest from. This is your point of power. This is your point of consciousness. The more aware we are of ourselves in the present moment, the more connected we are to ourselves in the present moment, the more we get to consciously create those future timelines. That's what it means to be a conscious manifester. That's what it means to be a master manifester. So, for example, again, say this is our present point of power, this circle here. And it's interesting because I'm getting drawn to like a spiral, deeper and deeper into connection with ourselves, deeper and deeper into awareness of ourselves. So this is all of the past, right? And we in our human construct tend to think of it as very linear, with certain, you know, plot points along our storyline, along our human story, certain memories, certain experiences, certain ages. For example, this is age 3, this is age 7, this is age 14, this is age 22, this is age 60, whatever. This is, so we tend to think of it as very linear. And memory is interesting because memory has us going back to those time frames. And for maybe within those memories, we can relive those experiences, but we always bring ourselves back to the present moment. That's what it means to be grounded. That's what it means to be stable. What they're actually bringing me is interesting. I have had 2 grandparents with dementia. My first grandmother had Alzheimer's when I was 12 years old, and it was very difficult to watch her go through that. I actually took care of her along with my family when she had Alzheimer's. And then just a couple of years ago, my last surviving grandparent, my grandmother, died, and she had the beginning stages of dementia. And so it's very difficult to watch a loved one go through that. And it's bringing up a lot of emotion. Actually, my first book, Golden Days of Summer, explores my childhood living with a grandmother with Alzheimer's and trying to understand what is it that she's experiencing, what memories is she holding on to, what is it like to forget somebody that you love, what is it like to experience that, because I was on the outside as a loved one kind of looking in, and to me it was like, is she suffering? And spirit is telling me no. She wasn't suffering because she was just living in another timeline. But it's interesting because it's like the memory is living in another timeline. Now, when we experience trauma, we experience it as if it's present. And that's where trauma repeats itself, and that's where trauma has to heal. Memory enables us to kind of go back to the past, but still be very present and grounded in the present state. Trauma is an ungrounded energy, and that's what needs to heal. That's where trauma needs to heal, for example. But it's all consciousness. That's what time is. Time is itself a consciousness, they're saying.